Hey, are we live? Yay! All right, I'll get started in just a second. This is going to be kind of a shorter live. I really just wanted to upload a video, but I'm just doing a live and letting it upload. Also, if you're watching this after, will you please let me know if the quality of, you can let me know in the comment section if the quality of the playback is good. I'm in the forest here in Virginia, and sometimes the internet is coming out, and for some reason, StreamYard struggles with it, which is what I'm using, so let me know. But anyway, let's get into this little controversy that is all the buzz this morning. I have a lot of thoughts on it. So let's talk about what's actually happening, or what's happening, what the controversy is, what this is about, and then I want to tell you what I think is really happening, because I do believe that moving forward, we should be informed consumers, basically, which is exactly what I think this is ultimately about, and why so many corporations are pandering to this. I think it's about increasing sales and increasing market share. So let's get into this story. This is about Ulta. Yes, I know I have a lot of male viewers. Ulta is basically a huge, they have about 1,200 locations, I think, all around the US. They sell makeup, they have salons, they sell like shampoo, body care, all of that kind of stuff. They're kind of like a Sephora. And this controversy came because of an individual that they used. So this is what's happening, and this is why a lot of women are calling to boycott Ulta. So it says, Ulta Beauty, trans girlhood clip goes viral, sparks calls for boycotts. So what exactly happened? So Ulta has a social media platform where they do podcasts on girlhood, and they had this individual on. So this is Dylan McCovey. I have it in my description, and I do know who this person is. Dylan Mulvaney, excuse me. So Dylan Mulvaney is this individual. This person got really famous on TikTok and social media for doing this sort of, I think it was like a 100 days of girlhood, where this is a biological male, and he starts wearing dresses and things and is going through life being a girl and sort of documented this. And a lot of people are very critical of Dylan Mulvaney, saying that he represents not actual women, but a caricature of what women are. And I'm going to show you what people are talking about. So these are some of Dylan's videos that went viral on social media, and actually got Dylan not only a spot on this podcast, not only sponsorships by makeup companies and other brands, also was on a Forbes summit, a Forbes women's summit. So this individual, this biological man who has gained a social media following, doing his days of girlhood, spoke on a Forbes women's summit. So that's kind of a background on this individual. And here's some of Dylan's videos that went viral on social media. So this is one.
Bridges, love them. Coconut water, love it. Not an ad, just love it. Wind turbine, love it. Meadows, love them.
Hi, Kelly. Okay, so that's a clip from one of his videos that went viral. So you can see how he's criticized a lot by women and men, saying that this person is just putting on a costume as a woman and is really following into the caricatures as women. You know, Dylan puts on high heels and is sort of frolicking through the forest with a little, I don't know, what is that? Like a little workout outfit, talking about how this individual is a woman. Later on in this same social media video, Dylan like trips and gets scared of a bug. So everyone is criticizing me, like, you're just putting on the costume as a woman. You're making a mockery of women. You are doing a caricature of a woman. And here's one more video of Dylan's that I want to show you. Here we go.
Do it, woohoo! I thought the letters stood for small, medium, and large based on the size of your Barbie pouch, but after a Google, I found out it's actually the level of your flow. So they're super, regular, and light. I guess my question is, which one do I carry around? The super? Because maybe if you have a light flow, you can still use a super? I don't know. Here goes nothing. It's pink, it's kind of adorable, and it kind of looks like a butter churn. So you just go like that. Ow. Where does the string go? You are getting sleepy.
Okay, so you can sort of get an idea of what Dylan is. You can also understand why many people think that what Dylan is doing is offensive. It's perpetuating a caricature of women, mocking the types, whatever. He calls the lady parts. He doesn't have a. He calls the lady parts a Barbie pouch. So this is obviously why it's offensive. And to be honest with you, Dylan existing is not what I find offensive. I don't find the fact that Dylan exists offensive. What I do find interesting and what I do find incredibly offensive is that Dylan is selling tampons. I think there was a partnership with Tampax or something. I don't know if that went into effect, but Dylan also spoke on the Women's Summit for Forbes, and this is what a lot of people were really upset about. So this is Ulta, this is the brand, and we'll get into the whole trans issues in just a second because that's obviously a huge part of this. But this is why people got really upset today. So Ulta, this beauty, what do you call it? Beauty store. They have a podcast, and the podcast is all about girlhood. And you had Dylan Mulvaney on the podcast with another individual who is also a man, and they are doing a whole podcast on girlhood. So I'm going to show you a clip of that, and then we're going to look at some of the outrage and talk about these issues and what I think is actually going on. Because I think there is something behind this that is going on that are the reasons why corporations are sort of pandering to this ideology. And I don't think it has anything to do with inclusivity, and I don't think it has anything to do with women or any of that. So let's look at this clip. Wait, no, that's not the clip. Where is it? That's not the clip.
I know I can find love. I know I can still be a
So this is Ulta Beauty. So you can see at the bottom, this is Ulta Beauty's little tweet that they sent out on their official Twitter, and it says, "Trans girls can do it all." Tune in to the latest episode of The Beauty of, where host David Lopez sits down with guest David Mulvaney to chat on all things girlhood. So this was sort of the criticism. And it was like, so you have two biological men doing a podcast on girlhood. Is this mansplaining girlhood to women? And let's look at this clip.
Now I know I can find love. I know I can still be a performer. I know that I can have a family. I want to be a mom one day. And I absolutely can. And that's why the narrative still has a long way to go, because when I was grieving Boy Dylan, I didn't know those things were even accessible to me.
Okay, so now you can see why this really irked a lot of women. So let's look at what a few people said. So this is Katie Cat, and she says, "I really think more women need to wake up to this nonsense. I think too many of us have stayed quiet because we don't want to hurt feelings and are too connected with being polite. I've had enough. I'm not going to be quiet." And that wasn't the only brand that got some heat today. This is Estee Lauder. So Estee Lauder put out an ad in which they featured a trans man, so a biological man who is identifying as a woman. And this was a makeup ad that was put out by Estee Lauder. Why do I keep forgetting their name? Okay, and let's look at some criticisms over this. So you can see the picture here. That was the ad. So that's the trans identified person that is on this makeup ad. And this is that the same? No, this is a different girl. So this is Kayla. And she says, "First Ulta Beauty, now this. Why are these makeup companies obsessed with men dressing up as women? As a woman myself, this is disgusting. I'm boycotting Estee Lauder, Ulta Beauty." And this person replied, "I'm really not sure what these woke companies are thinking about. I guess they just love to lose money." And you can see that they put a picture of the stock right there and how it is changing. And now boycott, Ulta boycott Estee Lauder is now trending. And here's my thoughts. First of all, yes, it is incredibly offensive. It's incredibly offensive to see a biological man who, first of all, doesn't want to experience womanhood, wants to experience girlhood. That's a whole nother level of concern to me as a woman myself. Yeah, as a woman myself. But the reason it is so offensive for women is, first of all, we're not even going into the conversation about how right now we have biological men that are invading women's spaces. They're invading women's locker rooms, their changing rooms, their freaking prisons. All of these spaces are being invaded by biological men so that they can feel better. Yet all of the women who are uncomfortable because of these situations, all of the women who are upset that they're having opportunities taken from them are being called bigots and are being silenced. One example of this is with UPenn. And it was really interesting because I was watching another interview about UPenn last night with one of the swimmers who came out anonymously, and it finally made sense to me. You know, she said, well, it benefits UPenn to have Leah Thomas on our team. It benefits our university because it benefits the higher ups because now we're winning swim meets. No, it doesn't benefit the girls on the team as much, I guess, in a way, because we're winning all these meets. So they basically got all the girls together on the UPenn swim team. They said, hey, uh, Leah Thomas is going to be on the team. That is a non-negotiable. So whatever we need to do for you to make that okay, whether you need counseling, whether you need whatever we need to make it okay with you. But other than that, this is a non-negotiable. So these girls were basically told, shut up and put your head down. This is what it is. And why did they do that? My opinion is the school had an incentive because now they're winning meets. Why would they not want that? So they attempted to silence their girls. That was their incentive right there. And the reason why it's so offensive for, besides the obvious, it's so offensive that Ulta is having a podcast on girlhood, and you have this biological man who wants to experience girlhood, who thinks that he can be a mother. That's so offensive because being a woman or being a girl, especially being a mother, not only comes with the cute little accessory parts. You know, the cute little bells and whistles are the heels and the makeup and the hair and the dresses. Those are the extra little bells and whistles that we get to have fun with and we get to enjoy. But the true meaning of being a woman and the true meaning of being a mother is, to me, the scars that you develop with those things, or the hardships that you went through to get to where you were, the scars. Yeah, we're joking about the tampons, and I don't even know how it works. I'm going to carry these around like it's a funny little accessory, yet there's a lot of women who go through a lot of pain because of their menstrual cycle, the humiliation because of it, the once a month, I think that I'm a crazy person, the cramps. Like, there's all this stuff that comes with being a woman that is not glamorous and that's not pretty. And these are our scars that we have earned. Childbirth is being pregnant, having a child, being a mother, watching your body change, having that experience, going through the pain and all of this stuff. You by you just putting on saying, I can be a mother. No, you don't understand what it's like to be a mother, and you're taking away all of that stuff that woman earned by saying, I'm a mother. She sacrificed her body. She sacrificed all of these things to give life to this little person. And that's a beautiful thing. Am I just like, ha ha ha, I can be a mother? You know, it takes away from those women. Therefore, yeah, it is incredibly offensive for that. But now let's get to what I actually think is happening. Is that offensive? Yes. Is Ulta pushing, in my opinion, a dangerous ideology and attempting to make it mainstream? Yes. But do I think that Ulta is doing it because they care about trans rights? Nope. Do I think that Ulta is doing it because they care about their customer base at all? Nope. Do I think they care about the women they serve? Nope. And do I think a group of women boycotting Ulta is ultimately going to do anything? Nope, because they don't care about that. That's not why they're doing this. You want to know why I think they're doing this? Because they realize that they are unable to sell makeup to half of our population. So by putting men on this podcast, by advertising these products to men, now you are able to sell your makeup to an entire population that you weren't able to sell them before. Look back in time at the torches of freedom. To me, this is all about market share. This is all about sales and the bottom line, and being able to tap in to a whole market that back in the day you were not able to tap into. So they're going to use what's trending right now with this trans ideology. They're going to use that cultural movement, and they're going to sell product, because it's all about selling product. When you're a girl, this is what, like, all of our beauty magazines, everything, like, it's all about selling you product. And look, this is an Allure magazine. This is a beauty magazine from a year ago, and that is a trans man inside of it. Because look, now I can sell all this makeup to women. That's what I think is going on. And the father of propaganda, his name is Edward Bernays, and there was a huge campaign that he did back in the day called the Torches of Freedom. So this was Lucky Strike that actually reached out to this guy. I can't look, was he like a marketing guy or a PR guy? Anyway, his name was Edward Bernays. They reached out to this guy, and they realized, Lucky Strike, that so back in the day, it was seen as masculine to smoke cigarettes. It was seen as something that wasn't feminine. Women didn't do it. It was not socially acceptable for women to smoke cigarettes back in the day. And Lucky Strike saw this as a missed opportunity. They saw this as, wow, there's half the population that we're not able to sell cigarettes to. That's a lot of money that we're not making. So they reached out to Edward Bernays, and they said, how can we figure out how to sell cigarettes to this population who thinks it's masculine to sell cigarettes? So Edward Bernays thought about this, and he thought, well, we can't sell this on logic alone. So we need to tap into people's emotions. So what is something that we can tap into? So they made this campaign called the Torches of Freedom. They called cigarettes Torches of Freedom, and they made smoking an act of feminism. They made smoking an act of empowering, and they made it appear that way to women. And they got this really influential socialite to walk down New York City. I think it was like some kind of parade, but it was a huge PR stunt, and got her to walk down in a very public, publicized situation, smoking a cigarette. And they got women to do this, and they made it an empowering thing to smoke cigarettes. And it was never about empowerment. It was never about bettering women. It was never about feminism. It was about selling cigarettes. And I think that's what a lot of this is about. I think it's about these companies realizing, wow, we can now sell makeup and stuff to women. That's a whole nother demographic or to men. That's a whole other demographic that we can tap into, that now we can capitalize on. And I think that the few women right now that are saying, I'm going to boycott, I think that is necessary collateral damage for the bigger picture, meaning that, okay, we're going to lose some sales, we're going to lose a bit of a profit from a few women, but we are going to make more money in the long run by tapping into this brand new market. That's what I think is happening. And I think it sucks. I think it's crappy. I don't like it, because they're pushing dangerous ideology, and they're also pushing, in my opinion, the erasure of women. I know that sounds hyperbolic. That feminism really messed up my demographic. It did. And you know what's crazy? And this is why I find it incredibly offensive as well, is because as women, we grew up saying that we need to be afraid of rape culture, that we need to be afraid of men taking our spaces. Men make more money. Give your spot to a woman. Women need to take what's theirs. Women need to all of this. And now you actually have men that are taking spaces. And all the feminists are completely silent. It is offensive. It is wrong. Do I think it's going to change anytime soon? I don't. I think corporations are going to keep doing this, because the small collateral damage is worth the overall goal for them, and that is tapping into this market that they haven't tapped into before. Do I know that this is what's happening? No, but it seems like the most logical explanation to me. That's what I think is happening, and I think it's offensive that corporations use these sort of nuanced and really hyper polarized issues to sell products. I think that's wrong, but that's what they're doing. And I think the best thing for us to do with all of this is to just promote things that we do like, to keep calling it out, to offer other products or services, or to spend our time and our money on those products or services that we know are good people. Like not I didn't want to turn it into an anti-capitalist rant, because it's not an anti-capitalist rant. I love capitalism, but I think I believe in spending your time and money and energy into companies that share your values. I think that is a good way to go. I believe in the market solution. I don't believe in canceling. I believe in the market solution. And a lot of people that defend this person, Dylan Mulvaney, that we looked at the beginning, a lot of Dylan's defenders say people don't want Dylan to exist. I don't mind that Dylan exists. It doesn't offend me, because if I see something I don't like, I just don't pay attention to it. Like, really, I think my bigger issue is when this gets picked up by a corporation or culturally, and is told to us that we have to accept this, and is pushing these ideas that I think are dangerous, and then telling us simultaneously that if you speak out, you're a bigot. No, I'm not a bigot. I'm allowed to criticize things, and I'm allowed to spend my money and time where I want to spend my money and time. The whole thing started with stay out of my bedroom. Now they want it to every nook and cranny. Yeah. I mean, and it's like, it's never enough. Like, this was never an issue until it just kept being pushed and pushed and pushed. So let's see what else is about this situation. And I hate to, I see a lot of people that are outraged over this. I mean, as you should, it is upsetting. I totally understand it. But always be aware, I think, when we're having these conversations about these issues and about corporations, and when we're calling to always, I just think it's important to always be aware of what else is going on too. And I think this is a story of a corporation tapping into a brand new market, because that's all they do in the first place. Makeup is constantly selling. It's funny. I was thinking about this the other day, because women, we buy so much stuff. We buy makeup, we buy hair products. We are the ultimate consumers. We buy clothes all the time. Like, men will have the same t-shirt for years. I was just thinking about this the other day when I went to buy like some new pajama pants. And I was thinking about my boyfriend, who makes a whole lot more money than I do, but he's had the same pajama pants for like years and years and years. And I buy new pajama pants like, I don't know, probably twice a year. But that's how men are. Women are really the ultimate consumers. So equality and balance, because they know it doesn't exist. It's about power. Yeah, to me, women, it is about power. It is. I totally agree with you, Braxton. And women and men are not equal. And I don't think it's wrong to say that. I believe in equal rights as far as every person is equal, as far as the law, equal as far as employment. But I do not think we're equal as far, I think men and women complement each other. I think we were meant to complement each other, not be completely equal on every sort of thing, if that makes sense. I hope that made sense. I hope that came out right. I will wear pajama pants until they look like this. Exactly. That's how men are. But now you have this whole market of men who want to be more feminine, who want to identify as women. Oh my gosh, now I can sell them makeup. I can sell them clothes. I can sell them accessories. I can sell them freaking tampons. Look at this. I can sell them.
Now for the real magic, I've got a glass of water in the tampon. I almost put red food coloring in there, but I thought that might be too much. And we're gonna see how this works. Oh, it kind of looks like a butterfly. How long does it take to get to this? This one looks like it would do the job. I feel like I'm in science class. Oh no. Okay, the pad.
Did you say man-pons? That's exactly what man-pons. That's Dylan, isn't it? He's not. Yes, that's Don Brady. That's actually who we were talking about, was Dylan Mulvaney. Let me play it for you really quick. But there was a big controversy because Dylan Mulvaney and this other person, I am experiencing cringe. That's all we do on this channel, is experience cringe together. So Dylan Mulvaney was on a podcast talking about girlhood. I keep pulling that up.
I know I can find love. I know I can still be a performer. I know that I can have a family. I want to be a mom one day. And I absolutely can. And that's why the narrative still has a long way to go, because when I was grieving boy Dylan, I didn't know those things were even accessible to me.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think, actually, I wonder if they put out a statement. Let's see if they put out a statement, because I don't think they are going to be sorry, Ulta, because what they're doing is they're trying to put in that extra, that whole new demographic to profit off of. Let me pull up this article, because I will read to you some other criticisms. Exactly the Okay, beauty company Ulta is facing a fierce backlash following a company podcast in which a trans TikTok influencer appeared to use femininity as a costume. Dylan Mulvaney was interviewed by gender-fluid hairdresser David Lopez about all things girlhood. Dylan explained how Dylan wants to be a mom and find love as a trans person. Biological women have criticized the company for using a trans person to speak about their experience of womanhood. That's why it's offensive. Some have accused the company of hiding replies to a posting on social media. Ulta Beauty, which has more than 1,200 salons across the country, was slammed by Furious Woman for hosting Dylan Mulvaney on the joy of girlhood. The firm had tried to showcase the diversity of women that used the brand, but the clip was quickly seized on by customers for the controversial clip. They slammed Mulvaney for describing her genitals as a Barbie pouch, and also took exception to her previous chat of buying tampons. Mulvaney has been accused of woman face. So this is actually what is trending on Twitter right now, is woman face. Mulvaney has been accused of woman face by some feminists who claim she is play acting parts of a woman she enjoys with one of the misogyny faced by females on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, so that's another angle of this conversation too, is, women, we've been told, don't reduce yourself by just your bodies. We're more than just our bodies. We're more than just our makeup and our hair and this or that. And yet now you have these men that are claiming that they know what it's like to be a woman and that they are women, but they've only experienced those sort of caricature traits of being a woman and not what we feel actually makes us women. That's why it's so utterly offensive. My hair doesn't make me a woman. Ask any woman who has cancer, who has had to shave her head, or who has lost her hair going through chemo. Your breasts do not make you a woman. Ask any woman who has had to have a mastectomy, who went through cancer. Even just the act of giving birth, there are some women who give birth, so that alone doesn't make you. It's all of the encompassing things, all the scars, all of the things, all of that is what makes us a woman. It's not just one thing, and that is what is so utterly offensive. Hey, if you want to be a man, if you want to go wear makeup, if you want to wear dresses, but don't take away from me what is mine. And I think that's what's really upsetting to a lot of women. Kelly, what is a woman? Thank you so much, Kelly, for the super chat. Look what I can do now. That's so exciting, technology. What is a woman? That is a good question. I actually watched that documentary again last night. I recommend watching it a second time. I got a lot more out of it the second time I watched it. Have you heard of Megan Murphy? She has a podcast called The Same Drugs. She has a lot of the same critiques of you. Great guest. Okay, I'll watch that. I haven't watched that. It is. Okay, Stephen Alexander made a really good point. They're saying woman face because it's kind of holding a mirror to all of these. Because what am I saying? You are taking away from me the things that I think make me a woman, and that's the critique of blackface. That's the critique of other people that try to take on different races or different things like that. It's like, okay, yeah, you can sit here and play all you want, but you don't actually know what it's like to be in the skin of someone who is biologically that thing. Yet for some reason, just like COVID with BLM riots, it's like if you're in a BLM protest or if you're looting, COVID doesn't exist. But if you're walking down the street without a mask, it exists. It's kind of the same logic. It's like that argument exists when it's in the racial spectrum, but when it's on the gender spectrum, that argument doesn't exist. When your ideology meets each other like that, it's not a good ideology. I can't have a baby. I don't know. Well, let's read some criticism because what is happening? And can we just talk about the oddness of two grown men talking about girlhood? Like, if 2 years ago, that would have been a bit, no, not 2 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe, that would have been a bit concerning. The code, oh my gosh, yeah. I'm going to do a live tonight at 9 p.m. So check that, see if I'm here. I'm going to do a live tonight at 9 p.m. actually talking about that because I watched the Candace Owens documentary. I gave a short little video about my thoughts on it, but I definitely have a lot more in-depth thoughts on the Candace Owens BLM documentary, and I think there are a lot of missed opportunities. So I wanted to highlight what I think were missed opportunities about the documentary. So I'm going to do a live about that at 9 p.m. And a lot of that, and some of that will go into the hypocrisy with the lockdowns. So that should be cool if you guys want to join on that one. Maybe I'll have a cocktail or two. Who knows? Did you watch it? Okay, let me know. What did you think? I'm actually curious what you guys think. I know what I think. You've heard some of my thoughts, but you haven't heard my in-depth thoughts and my criticism. I know what I think. Let me know what you think really quick, because I'm curious. I'm not telling you what I think yet. Okay, so these are some of there was only 2 surgeries. They want a bajillion gender. There are only 2 surgeries. And again, you guys, it's the same sort of theme when you look at the medical side of this issue. It's the same exact theme. It kind of goes back to money. I don't know. If you watch the Matt Walsh "What Is a Woman" documentary, there's a theme too. These surgeries, when you can get a young person to transition, that is a lifelong medical patient. That person is now worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to Big Pharma. Why would they not be incentivized to sort of push this ideology? And I'm not saying I have the actual evidence in my hand right now. I'm just saying that you have to point out the obvious. Why would you not be incentivized to push that ideology if this is going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars off each person? It was Vanderbilt University Medical Center, I think. Follow the money. Always follow the money. But it was Vanderbilt University that Matt Walsh investigated because they're in Tennessee where he lives, and they caught some of these medical professionals giving sort of a seminar on these surgeries, and they were bragging about the fact that on one patient you can make the hospital $100,000 on that surgery alone. again, it's not transphobic to say that. It's not saying that people that are trans shouldn't exist or they shouldn't be happy, or maybe in adulthood, I don't know, maybe that's right for someone. But I do think it's important to have all of the information and understand who is pushing this stuff and why they are pushing this stuff. And I do think there is a huge social contagion element to this, and it's being perpetuated by these corporations and by these big pharma medical professionals who have dollar signs, big dollar signs, as an incentive. But yeah, the detransitioner stories are incredibly heartbreaking, and to me, it's like a horror movie. It really is. It's like a horror movie. Imagine being in a vulnerable place in your life, and haven't we all? Being just in a really vulnerable place in your life and not feeling good about your life, not feeling good about your body, not feeling good about anything. And maybe you find this community online, or maybe you find this therapist or this teacher or this friend, and they're convincing you and affirming you of this and thinking, wow, if I get this surgery, maybe everything will be better. And people are convincing you of this. Society, politicians, medical professionals, teachers, all of them are convincing you of this. So you go through this barbaric surgery, this horrifying, in my opinion, mutilation, waking up one day, having yourself fully mutilated, and maybe you go down that feeling of euphoria, because I feel like a lot of people, or I've heard that many that go through these surgeries, they go through a period of euphoria, going through that period, and then waking up one day and realizing, wow, this isn't what I wanted. But you're looking down at your body. This isn't the body that you were born with. This isn't the body that you were supposed to have. And now, like some kids, or I say kid, why am I saying kids? But adults too. Some people that go through these surgeries, they're never allowed to, or they're never able to experience orgasm again. They're not able to have kids. And even if they want to detransition and go back, there is permanent damage that is never going to be fixed. And some of these surgeries have crazy rates of having complications. Some people, even if they maybe still want to be trans, they're still dealing with infections and all of these brand new health complications that they wouldn't have had otherwise. It's really awful. They are some of the most vulnerable teens. Yep. Those are always the kids that are, and adults too, people that are vulnerable, people that are depressed, people that are kind of like outsiders. They don't really know where they fit in or who they fit in with. And what's even more concerning about all of these conversations is that even if you bring up questions about it, even if you bring up criticisms, you are called a phobe, a bigot, everything. All they're doing is changing what their problems look like. Yeah. And it's almost like, isn't that like what addiction is and stuff like that? It's like, someone who is an alcoholic or someone who is a drug addict, maybe it ends up being like a chemical addiction, but maybe it starts, I'm drinking alcohol to exploit this problem, but then the alcohol is giving me new problems. I'm doing drugs to escape all these problems that I have in my life, but now these drugs are giving me new problems. Going out and being promiscuous because I'm trying to escape all these problems in my life. And now, because I'm going out and being promiscuous, I have all these new problems. And I also think that very normal. This is another thing where we're pacifying our society, and we're saying that any kind of discomfort you have to automatically fix. It is totally normal to grow up as a teenager and feel uncomfortable in your body. It is totally normal to be a kid and question whether you're supposed to be a girl or a boy. It is normal to feel self-conscious, and it is normal to dislike parts of your body. Like, those things are normal. Some of those things are almost a rite of passage to be able to have things that maybe you didn't like at one point, and you grow up and you learn to embrace that part of yourself, and you learn to love and accept that part of yourself. Maybe I have a thing in my nose, or maybe I have this on quality. When I was growing up, everyone laughed at not everyone, but people would like make fun of my voice and tell me like, you sound like an airhead and you blah, blah, blah. I still get people that do that. And I remember like being little and hating that quality about me because it made me stand out. It made me different. And I didn't like that. I just wanted to be like everyone else. And there's still people that don't like my voice, but I don't care anymore. And now I've grown to love it. It's what makes me me. If I didn't have this voice, I wouldn't be Sarah. And it took me a long time to accept that and embrace it. It also made me money. I was doing voice acting. So, you know, that's a really good example of something that I grew up with and I didn't like. And I would have, if I had the option to change it when I was younger, I probably would have changed it just to be like everyone else. But now, as an adult, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I didn't do that because it's one of my favorite qualities about me. It makes me different. Ugh. Anywho, all right, you all, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and get off here. Personally, I think physical transition of this sort should be done away and altogether, at least. Yeah. And I mean, my argument for that would be too, like, where I am, I'm like, on kids, absolutely not. And I'm the same way with plastic surgery. Like elective plastic surgery that's not reconstructive, like to just get like a boob job or a nose job just because I want to. I don't think any of that is acceptable. This is just my personal opinion. I don't think any of that is acceptable under 18, period. No tattoos, no, no tattoos, no crazy piercings, no plastic surgery, no gender transitioning. None of that until you are 18. And if you want to pay for it on your own, you pay for it on your own. I'm not paying for it for you. I will. She's not in here right now, but I'll say hello to her. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you guys. I have a costume for her, but I don't think I'm such a nerd. I have a costume. I think it's a little too big for her, but I threw the tag away. Or the receipt away, so I don't think I can return it. But it's an elephant. And then it has like this little part that goes on her somehow. Oh, fun! But I have to figure out. It is like she doesn't want to put it on, so it's kind of a challenge to get it on her. I'm going to try. I think it's a little bit too big, but I think I can rig it to where it stays. The challenge is actually getting the thing on her. She doesn't want to wear it. I'm going to have to give her a lot of time, I think. Okay, anyway, thank you all for watching. I'm going to be back at 9 p.m. And I wanted to talk about the documentary and what I think is missing, and also some new things that I learned about Black Lives Matter. This is nuts, but I have some video for you. I actually learned of a puppet master that might be behind Black Lives Matter, so that was pretty eye-opening to me. I'm not surprised. It's more, I guess it's confirmation, also eye-opening. All right. Okay, hopefully I'll see some of you at 9 p.m. Eastern, and have a really good day. Bye. Okay, see you at 9. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat, Kelly. And thank you all for joining. That was a good one. All right, bye you all. How do I turn this thing off? Oh, okay, bye Dawn. Thank you for joining. That was fun. Ah!